airplay, radio airplay lately. How does it feel to hear your music on your own, on the local airwaves?
It feels good. I've not actually heard it here in Dallas yet. The first time I heard it was in Washington, which is the craziest thing.
Washington D.C. or
no,
Washington State?
Washington State. We were driving from, I think it was from Portland to Seattle, and we were listening, just flipping channels, and one of the radio stations started playing Gypsy Woman, which is one of our singles, and it was the first time that I actually heard us randomly, you know, just driving down the street and heard us on the radio, and it was a crazy feeling.
I can't keep from running, so she's never gonna track me down.
Where are some of your strong points, besides from here toward the south? Like I say, you're playing up in Boston in a couple weeks, and then up in Chicago.
Chicago's been really good for us. St. Louis has been good. Portland's been really good.
Really?
Atlanta has been really good. Certain cities are, you know, a lot of cities in Texas, because this is where we've been really, you know, getting our legs right here in Texas. So mostly Texas, Oklahoma, you know, the area like Arkansas, you know, all the close, you know, few hours away from Dallas, those are all just booming. But you know, there's other parts of the country that are starting to hear us on the radio, and I think it's helping for sure.
Well, I would think you'd be. I'm from California. I'm from the Bay Area, which is a hotbed of. I would think you'd start to get some.
Yeah, no, California's been really good.
Good.
It's been really good.
I'm proud to hear that.
Yeah, it's great. I love that state.
It's a beautiful state. You can't live there. That's not you, but it's. What was I was saying that I'm relatively new to you, and I heard when I was listening to Gypsy Woman today, I hear something that has a lot of kick to it, but it's got great melody. Is that something you do intentionally, or does that just come? It's got the hook to it. Does that come naturally to you, or do you sit down to consciously make? Hooks in
no,
your music?
I mean it's not something we don't necessarily try to. I mean, it's just making a good song that keeps your interest. I mean, I've got a pretty short attention span as it is, and I just get bored with, you know, it's got to have a good melody that keeps me interested, and I think, you know, good guitar solos that have good melodies to them, you know, melodies, just good.
Melody is melody.
Good feel, and I think the rhythm is something that, you know, instantly hooks you with a groove, and you know, something you can move to and dance to, and you know, feels fun.
Something that sticks in your head.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that any you know, even good jazz players try to base their improvisation off hooks. You know,
right.
You know, you find a hook and you hang out on it for a minute, and then you go out into another. You know.
Is that easy for you to do? Find hooks?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, I always try to, you know, sing everything, like sing the guitar parts that I write, and sing the, you know, sing the bass part. You know, I want to be able to hum it out and feel like kind of something that, if I was just walking down the street, you know, on the sidewalk, just kind of, you know, whistling it, you know, just kind of, that's something I heard Bob Dylan say a long time ago, and it stuck with me. You know, he would try to write songs that, you know, it's just like walking down the street, just kind of singing out loud, just kind of to himself, and let that turn into something. So it feels familiar, and it feels, you know, it feels just natural, you know, organic, and
There's a door on the side of
Well, you mentioned being out on the road. Do you have any memorable road stories you can share?
Yeah, there's been tons. One of the coolest ones was we were out with ZZ Top about a year ago, and you know, I grew up on Southern rock and blues, and especially like guitar players like Billy Gibbons, you know, and we were opening up for him. We're up on stage sound checking, and it's like third or fourth night, and Billy Gibbons walks out on stage while we're sound checking. So there's nobody in the arena. It's just us on stage, sound guy, and Billy Gibbons walks up on stage, and he's just leans up against Nick's bass cab, and he's just sitting there watching us. And I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's hard to be natural in that moment.
I was gonna say.
You know, you immediately become self-conscious of all the notes you're playing and everything that you're doing, because you got this legend that's
absolutely
like sitting right there watching you.
You got
you
the
know
Reverend watching you.
Pretty much. And we were playing through like "Rock Me Baby" or some like classic blues thing that, you know, we just kind of go over. And we finished it and walked up to him and started, you know, talking for the first time on the tour, and talking about guitar pedals and tone and, you know, the whole deal. And it was just one of those things where I knew in that moment that it was one of those moments that, you know, it just was,
that's where you were supposed to be, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
That's,
you know,
that made everything that came before it just.
Yeah, there's been other times where, you know, we were down in Austin. The last time we were in Austin, we played at Antone's, and Tommy Shannon came out, the bass player from Stevie Ray Vaughan's band. And that's another guy that I grew up listening to a lot, especially when I was learning to play with Stevie Ray Vaughan and, you know, Double Trouble. And to have Tommy Shannon hanging out, watching our show, and, you know, chumming it up with us, it's just like some crazy shit's going on.
Have you had any major roadblocks that you've had to overcome?
Oh, there's been tons. I mean,
I guess that's kind of a silly question.
Yeah,
I mean, what are some of the big ones you've overcome?
Well, I think starting out as starting from nothing, you know, just starting with no fans at all. Just, you know, and then getting to playing in venues, and then going from, you know, having 10 people there to having 30, and then having 30 to, you know, 60, and it really taking years to do. And in that time, there's tons of roadblocks. Being broke, living, you know, on a fucking floor somewhere, you know, just.
That's kind of a prerequisite for most.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta understand that you're not gonna make a lot of money playing music. You know, if you think that you are, then you're doing the wrong thing. Unless you get instantly famous. But that didn't happen for us.
And it's probably just as well, because the ones that get instantly famous, they.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody
they tend to flame out.
Everybody who really knows can tell the difference between the real deal and then, you know, that. But I mean, there's been tons. I mean, we've had crazy things happen. You know, we've had all sorts of crazy things happen. I mean. More
than you can keep up with.
Yeah, I mean. Drugs and alcohol, you know, girls, everything that could get in the way. It has.
Really?
I mean, I'm not speaking solely on myself, the band. You know, keeping the same group of guys this whole trip. You know, we started together and we're still doing it together. And there's definitely been different things for each of us that, you know, could have potentially kept us from doing what we wanted to do, which is play, you know, music.
Well, that's got to be a testament to the strength of the band then, if you're overcoming it. And
yeah, well, I think it's a testament to, you know, really truly loving to play and, like, you know, not letting anything stand in the way of it, you know, and just almost in a obsessive way, you know, being completely locked in. And, you know, maybe Robert Johnson might have meant that when he was talking about selling his soul. Because it's maybe like I've sold everything. I've given everything up to do this, you know, and maybe that's what he's talking about.
But it's been worthwhile for you, though.
Well, yeah, because it's, you know, life is short. You know, do what you want to do.
Too short not to be doing stuff you want to do.
Yeah, because you want to look back and be like, man, I wish I would have spent my time doing something that I, you know, instead of doing that, I wish I would have done that. You know. Hey, this is Jonathan Tyler from Jonathan Tyler and the Northern Lights, and you're hearing this interview.
It seems so easy when you do it.
No, I always have a hard time with these. I'm not an actor. Okay, ready? This is Jonathan Tyler from Jonathan Tyler and the Northern Lights, and you heard this on Jan Magazine.